We all ready, Sarah?
Thank you.
All right. Good morning.
Morning.
Call the Delaware County Investment Advisory Committee to order. I'm Mike Ringel, serving as the chair and county treasurer, and we also have on the committee Commissioner Jeff Benton and Commissioner Barb Lewis. So the first item we have on the agenda is the approval of our previous meeting minutes.
I'll move.
Second.
Discussion? I don't have any additional comments. I think Sarah is doing a great job as our clerk. Anyone else have any other points?
Nope.
All right. Let's go ahead and take a vote then.
Mr. Ringel?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
All right. Next item on the agenda is reviewing the county's investment and depository policy. We had discussed the policy at our last meeting and some potential wording that needed revised. The draft that you have in front of you has preservation in the first bullet point on the first page, replacing the word, let's see, what was it?
Presentation.
Presentation, yes, thank you. And then I also added that the monthly investment reports that my office generates will be provided to the commissioners for review. And then I added language that permits, in accordance with Chapter 135, the county to invest in bonds of political subdivisions of the state up to 10 years, as opposed to the language that seemed to say that investments could only be made up to 5 years for that category.
That is a distinction within the code.
Yes, yes,
Certain narrow category of investments are allowed to be done differently.
yes. And I believe the purpose behind that legislative change was to allow counties to invest in the political subdivisions within their boundaries to assist with local financing needs, and yet still provide a good return for the county. We have done that as well here in Delaware County with the village of Shawnee Hills to help them with some of their financing projects historically, and that has provided a great benefit to the county in addition to savings to the village of Shawnee Hills.
Right. Yeah, a lot of the projects that they fund are longer-term projects that 5-year financing won't allow a reasonable payback time frame. So, allowing counties to invest in local jurisdictions that have longer-term sewer, road, other projects of that nature makes sense.
Question on the last bullet point under objective and guidelines, where it says deposits shall be concentrated in single accounts except where audit control considerations dictate otherwise. What does that mean? Does that mean you're using a single bank when possible, or what?
I believe that's what the objective is trying to state in order to create cost savings with having more deposits with a single entity. However, the county currently uses 4 different brokerages to manage its securities, and then the remainder of the investment portfolio resides within Star Ohio, which is more of a money market fund than a bank account due to the better return that it receives.
Yeah. My only problem would be is could a treasurer then favor one bank over another where it might not yield the best return and then put all our money in that under this guidance?
The Ohio Attorney General has written an opinion that requires, in interpreting Chapter 135, that the county investment authority, which is the county treasurer, unless that authority has been designated to someone else by this committee, to they have, the investment authority has a duty to seek the best rate of return on the county's investment portfolio. So Chapter 135 would not necessarily prohibit, but is, it would be questionable for an investment authority, the county treasurer, to put
Yeah.
all of the county's deposits with a bank that is receiving a lower than market return. And this committee, along with any investment decision made by the county treasurer, has the oversight as
Oh,
to
okay, okay.
the investment
All right.
portfolio, and that the investments are kept in accordance with Chapter 135.
Okay, so you're okay with that, too?
Yeah, I think an important distinction in this bullet point is that this talks about bank accounts. And I think what your concern is about investments. We maintain the vast
Okay.
majority of our funds in
With-
investments.
Right, in investments like Star
Star
Ohio, right,
Whole
right,
array of other
okay.
products. This is just for the basic operating accounts, I think is probably what this generally is
Yes.
referring to, bank accounts.
Okay, I see, so just bank accounts that were
And
not,
it's saying you don't want, I mean, there's all kinds of oversight in it. in that we have this committee.
okay,
The
okay,
deposit relationships are bid out on a regular
Okay.
basis every few years. And
okay,
it does make kind of business sense, if you will, to have a relationship with more than one bank in case banks sell or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, or the service becomes untenable. So, but I
Okay.
think they're still saying you don't want to have a dozen banking
Sure,
relationships. It just creates
sure, okay,
an audit
okay,
mess.
okay,
So it's kind of saying you need to keep it in a few accounts as possible, but keep it real close eye.
sure, okay, that's great, thank you, yeah. Yeah, I see, bank account
Yeah.
relationships, yeah, too,
We don't keep a whole lot of money relatively in bank accounts.
okay.
Operating accounts.
Which,
So our operating
Right.
accounts, I try to keep around 6 million. That certainly fluctuates much higher as
Mm-hmm.
collections come in around collection deadlines.
Okay.
But as I said, Star Ohio currently has a higher
Sure.
return than our bank account, so we try to move money as quickly as possible to where it can receive the highest return,
okay,
but yet still have plenty set aside to meet county operating
okay,
demands.
great. Thank you,
But good question, good
good.
conversation.
Well, it's good, we've got the expertise, the banker, the accountant, banker and the accountant, and the accountant and the lawyer, and so I thought, perfect time. I've read that several times, and so, great, I'm fine.
I would recommend then that we approve this updated investment and depository policy unless there are any other changes that this committee would like to make to it. That way we can have that updated language provided to any future investment brokers, and we'll keep the most current copy on record with the Auditor of State's office.
Okay?
Okay. I would move to approve the latest version of the investment and depository policy.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Vote?
Mr. Ringel?
Aye.
Mr. Petty?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you. The next item on our agenda is our other business and a general economic discussion before we move into the county's investment portfolio. The current Star Ohio rate is 61 basis points. To give
Really?
a little bit additional color to what our, yes. The
The May 31st says 101. Which surprised me. I didn't think it would be that high. But,
I believe that is accurate, but it has been steadily dropping. It's been hovering in the 60 basis point range for the past 2 weeks. And that goes a little bit to the market volatility we're seeing Unemployment claims nationally have declined, but unemployment nationally is still at an all-time high. The stock market has gone up and down based on news that has come out related to the coronavirus, whether or not investors are optimistic or pessimistic on a given day about the
Yes.
news that is
Yeah.
heard related to a potential vaccine.
Depending upon what data they choose to look at.
And all the different data.
Yes.
Whether cases go up, cases go down, job reports come in better than expected or not. And fixed income assets have somewhat of an inverse relationship. When there's more risk or risk aversion in the market, individuals flock to fixed income assets given their usual higher security, which can then drop yields. So that has been probably the most challenging aspect with the investment portfolio this year, is finding products that have a relatively high yield to maintain the yield of the county's investment portfolio, which, as you can see from the portfolio review graphic, I'm proud that the county has been able to do that. Part of that has been the diversification of the asset allocation for the county. I'm not aware if a previous treasurer has held commercial paper, but we purchased some commercial paper recently, and that was an extremely good purchase considering its rate and timing. The amount of municipal notes has also been expanded as the Federal Reserve has continued its facilities, but before it had continued its lending facilities, there was some turmoil in the municipal bond market that created some attractive yields that we were able to capitalize on. So the weighted average yield for the portfolio has only minimally decreased, and that is, I think, a very positive note for the county, considering how rapidly the Federal Reserve dropped its federal fund rate and how low it is going to be into the foreseeable future. In an attempt to keep the yield high, more of the portfolio has been moved to the 2 to 4 year range, which can be seen comparing this graphic to the previous Investment Advisory Committee report graphic. But we still maintain quite a bit of the county's investment portfolio in short-term holdings, which not only have still a very good return, but it will provide the county the flexibility to meet any of its operating obligations during this uncertain time. Are there any questions related to our economic forecast or the portfolio as a whole or the most recent May 31st report?
Commercial paper, that's an interesting investment program. I had not thought of that, and apparently it does have a nice yield, and commercial paper is certainly a good, safe portfolio. 256 days, so it's 9 months.
Yes. I believe the limit in the revised code is 275 days.
And this is remaining days, so that was probably 275. So that's nice little catch to put some money into a portfolio like that. And you're right, given that the last portfolio, or the last total portfolio yield was 193, and now we're at 189, and rates have fallen dramatically. In the meantime, to maintain that rate almost steady is very good. So yeah, it's good to see. still have a question about this overview.
Yes.
You know, again, what is that portfolio? Because there were 99 million that's being analyzed, but the total portfolio is 244 million. I'm not sure what is included in that and what's not.
The graphic does not include the amount that is included in Star Ohio, and I do consider that part of the investment portfolio, but due to its cash equivalent nature and its lower comparative rate, including it in the portfolio review would certainly skew the numbers and might not be as helpful for reviewing the securities that are in the investment portfolio. So that is why that is not included in the portfolio review, because it's essentially cash.
Yeah, and that makes sense. I can understand that.
Quick question, where's the number on the total portfolio? Is that the total cash and investments? Is that the,
Well, it depends on which number you're looking at.
oh, okay.
This is what we're talking about, this 99 million.
Yeah, I mean,
It doesn't line up exactly with any number on this portfolio. It's pieces of this
Okay.
portfolio, mainly the Star Ohio.
and you said like, is it 244 million and
That's the
something?
grand total.
That's what I wondered, the grand total.
If you look at the portfolio summary, which is the first page of the packet,
Okay,
the book value for all of the investments in the investment category, that is that 99 million, which tracks to that portfolio book value number.
Okay, so that's how, okay, that does tie, yeah. Yep.
And then
okay,
the cash number, which is the 145.3 million approximately, that includes Star Ohio. So
Okay.
in total, cash holdings and investments for the county total 244.5 million.
okay,
So the cash totals include all the checking and savings and money market accounts.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's what they're backing out, basically saying anything longer than 1 day.
Yes.
Is what we're analyzing.
And that breakdown of the cash can be seen on page 4, where it lists Star Ohio, the amount invested in Star Ohio, and then it has the bank money market accounts. So our trust accounts at U.S. Bank, some money market accounts, with the brokerages that have, that money has been moved to the depository with First Commonwealth. And then you have the banking, checking, and savings accounts, which are our operating accounts with First Commonwealth.
Yep.
But I think that's important to include in the monthly portfolio review. That way, the public has an understanding of where all money held by the county is. Yep.
yeah.
Question I had was, are there any, have you become aware of any credit issues in the portfolio?
No.
Any of the bonds?
Thankfully.
Yeah, I was gonna say, typically you wouldn't expect it, but these are unusual times to begin with, so.
The revised code provides that, with respect to bonds, that there are only the 3 highest investment grades are appropriate investments. So there are pretty stringent statutory requirements as far as what investments may be held by the county. And fortunately, the county has been able to purchase the best of the best.
Yeah, again, looks good. No real changes for now. We're still working on modeling out long-term cash flows so we can better align the maturities of the portfolio with the cash needs of the county, particularly the engineers, sewer, some of the other agencies that you manage. So we're trying to pull that stuff together. We've hired a firm to actually do that for us now.
Oh, excellent.
It's good to see, because, again, that's one of those things we need to do. So that's all I had. Mike, I don't know if you had anything else?
I do not. Is there any other business to bring before
No,
the committee?
that's all I had too.
Next meeting,
Next
Sure.
meeting.
You want to look at September 17th?
November 17th, that's week before Jug Day. So,
September 17th.
I thought the fair was the week of the 13th.
it is the week of the 22nd, or no, the week of the 20th, whatever that is, 21st.
Okay.
Yeah, the Jug is
Okay.
the 24th this year. It's the third Thursday after the first Monday, I think is the way it's determined.
Okay.
Something a little off like that.
I'll go rearrange my calendar, but I have the 17th open.
Yeah, works. for me.
Okay.
9 o'clock, or do we want to bump it to 8:45?
Yeah, let's go with 9. All right,
No other business? May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
second,
Hearing no objection.
All right.
very good.